Hey everybody, just adjusting the camera there. So hi, my name is Kara Lescu. I'm a serial entrepreneur and a professional psychic. And in this weekly series, I'm going to be doing something really fun. I'm going to be channeling, and I'm going to be channeling specifically about the energies that are coming up for the week in business and the best ways to work with them, and the themes that are going to help give you the biggest leverage in moving forward on your mission and how to handle the changes that our society is going to be going through. And those are big changes. So in future channelings, I'm also going to be taking questions at the end. So if you want to ask questions about what's coming up, then you will have to come watch live. So in order to find out when I'll be going live, they will be on Sunday evening. So you'll have to go check Hub and look for me, Kara Lescu, and you will be able to find the link. And there will be a new link each week. So you need to make sure that you go on and look for that. So before I do that, let me go into the channeling state. That is, let me tell you a little bit about what channeling is. Basically what happens is I move my consciousness aside, and a higher dimensional being that has a broader perspective comes through and uses my language and the things that I have in my consciousness in order to communicate, to bring through blocks of thoughts or ideas and communicate them to you. So what often happens is words might seem unusual. If you either don't recognize a word or you think the use of it is really odd, that word has a very specific meaning, and it's really important to look it up and get the precise meaning. So let me give you a little example here. So a while back, probably a couple of years ago now, one of my guides was telling me that I needed more pride. And I'm like, well, I thought like pride wasn't a good thing spiritually. And I was like, look the word up. So I did. And what pride really means is like knowing your worth and not exaggerating your worth. So if you are prideful in a positive way, it's like you really know your worth. So you're not taking crap from people, or you're not diminishing yourself in any way, which I was doing with some people at the time, as I wasn't acknowledging my full worth. So they was absolutely correct that in this case, I need more pride. Now, this is different than what the general usage of the word pride is. We usually mean pride to be something or a characteristic that somebody has where they're boastful, or they're overstating who they are and what they are in order to usually to cover up. So there's an insecurity there. So they have false pride or boasting kind of thing. So it's really important that if I use a word that sounds, why is she using that word? Or why is that word being channeled? That you look up what the specific meaning of that word is. So I'm going to go into the channeling state. I typically close my eyes when I do that, so that might seem a little bit weird, but it helps me to focus so that I can bring in the guides or the being that's going to be communicating a message with us today. And they're excited to get going, so let's get going here. Can you feel the difference in this year, in this New Year's Day, compared to last year? Depending on where you are and where you're at, what you feel this year might be relief. Oh gosh, it's over. Or it might be, oh gosh, what is it going to be next? But you should feel that there is a sense of ease. There is much more ease and flow in this year, and this flow can take you in a positive direction or a negative direction. Last year at this time, New Year's Day, there was a big shift in energy, and that is what triggered a lot of what you perceive to be as pandemic related challenges, but were actually energy upgrade challenges that happened to manifest because there was energy present for a global disease. It is really important that you learn to discern and separate the energies of what are happening from the manifestations of what are happening. Now, the manifestations absolutely are a result of the energy. But as we move forward in 2021, you are going to see a massive acceleration of the energies in order to get you on your path. And that means purifying. What we mean, let us go back. That means that you will be in the flow, to use the word we used earlier, in the flow of either your positive manifestations or in the negative flow of either your negative expectations or your karmic patterns. Things will be playing out for you personally in full color in your life. You will have a very challenging time to deal with this if you want to deal with it issue by issue. The rapid path is to do the inner healing work, whatever that is. For some of you, that might mean forgiveness. For some of it might mean setting boundaries. For some of you, it might mean that you really have to put as an absolute priority carving out the space for you to discern who you are and what you are to do versus what everybody else is doing. This is the time of individuation, of people going on their unique paths. Last year, there was a collective experience through most of humanity around the world in terms of having restrictions. There will be many collective experiences this year that we will cover as we go forward on this channeling. But the most important thing is that even though there's going to be challenging collective experiences, it is up to you personally to do the inner work, to go inside, to do your meditations, to take time out and to remove the influences, all influences, whether those are family, friend, your business concepts, your beliefs and paradigms from the past. They're all going this year, all of them, and they're going to be replaced. And it is essential that you have the time and the space, and more importantly, the techniques and the practice so that you can come through this with flying colors, which is what we want for you. This can be a very difficult time, or this can be the most uplifting and pleasant time that you have ever had. But it's going to rely on you to do the practice moment by moment. It's going to rely on you eliminating your old belief systems, and a lot of them are going to be shown in full color in your personal lives and in larger scales. And by that, we mean in terms of between countries, within countries, in political systems, and in many other systems that we will reach for and acclimate you to at the appropriate time. It is not appropriate right now for some of those things to be disclosed. So, do you get this? Do you get that you all came here at this time for the grandest awakening that this planet, and we're not even going to go beyond humanity, that this planet Earth has ever seen? You will be able to heal and solve problems and unrightness that has gone on for hundreds of generations, for millennia. The time is here that those be over. And this will reflect and changes in many of, we're going to use the word dynamics in how you structure things around your ways that you interact with each other on large scales. You can use words like governing, you can use words like educating, you can use words like health caring. Notice the caring part. That's our little joke. So all of these types of structures need to be redone at a higher level. We're going to use the word consciousness, at a higher level of consciousness, but a higher level of understanding of the fundamental goodness, rightness, wholeness, and equality, not just of everybody within your human race, but with all the races, all of the beings and beasts and plants and other forms of consciousness on your planet that you're starting to become aware of. This is the big challenge, and it has to happen on the inside first. Many of you that are listening to this will think, oh, but I already do that. But it's really going through this with a fine-tooth comb. Do you really? Are you really treating things as equal? And if you aren't feeling equal, do you have an expectation and a knowing to the core of your being that you are no better, and most importantly, no worse than anybody else? The truth is that a lot of people think that other people think that they're better, but the truth is most of those people are trying to look in all the wrong ways, places, and yes, races, to show that they're dominant because they're actually insecure. They are frightened on the inside. And we're going to use the word child, but more appropriately, probably babies. Each of us, each of you, and even us at our higher dimensions have aspects of us and you where there are things that are not yet healed, and there's a part of you that is acting like a newborn. There's a part of you that is acting childish, and you might not want to look at those things, but those are the things that have to go first. And as those things go, meaning you have healed them, you have removed them from your consciousness and from your energy so that they are no longer attracting people and events in your life. That is what is going to transform this whole planet into the paradise that it is destined to be. This is important. This is not optional. This is not a choice. This planet is destined to be a paradise. The question is, are you going to come willingly? Are you going to participate in creating that? Or are you going to be resentful and resistant of doing your own inner healing work? Paradise happens on the outside when you have created an inner paradise. When you have nothing within you that can be triggered. Now, we love that word because we think we see you, we can see your energetic buttons in your energy body, and it's like you push the button and it triggers the trap door, and then all the kind of negative behavior and emotions come out. So we love that word, but not everybody is familiar with what a trigger means. A trigger means when you are in a situation where you have attracted somebody to you so that you can see you're either coming from a place of insecurity or you're feeling superior to somebody else. And yes, that does happen at times. We feel like, or you feel like, we rarely do, but sometimes we do feel like you are better than somebody else. These patterns are the ones that need to be healed on the inside. And when that happens, that is when the paradise happens. Peace begins with you. Peace begins with inner peace. And when you create that, then the abundance flows. Then the glorious ideas, you can't even believe how the magnificence that we see coming for your planet. Oceans completely healed, skies completely healed, relationships completely healed, and of course, all the supporting structures. Now, the thing is most people focus on what are the structures, but the most important, and we will use the word sacred, structure that you have in your life is your relationships. Whether the first relationship is with yourself, and then with those closest to you, whether those be family, friends, or professional relationships. These are the places, this is sacred because this is your work. This is how you know where you need to do your inner healing. So when you get triggered, that is an indicator that there is work to be done on the inside. And when you do that, you can create the peace, you can create the abundance, and you can create it without the drama. Drama, there will be a lot of it this year. But if you're experiencing drama, that just means you're not doing the inner work, and it is time to give yourself a time out, and a better one than you give your children. And don't let yourself out of time out until you've healed the patterns. This is the highest leverage, most effective thing that you can do to move yourself forward rapidly in the energies of this upcoming year that you call 2021. Let us repeat. If something isn't working, if you're getting emotionally upset, if something doesn't go as planned, the best thing you can do is go into your own energy and use the practices you know, or learn new ones that are going to evolve you in your understanding and your knowing through healing the traumas of the past. Now, some of you may have a lot of that just from your own personal lives. Others of you might be very far down this road, and it is up to you to start healing the family patterns, the ancestral patterns. And if you are so blessed, so enlightened, you may be called upon to work on community karma or country karma or even global karma. So all of this is going to be released this year, ready or not, and it is going to continue to come hot and heavy. So if you're not doing the practices, then it can be very overwhelming. It will be a rapid river ride. It will be, for some people, it's going to be Niagara Falls. For other people, it will be your level 4, level 5 rapids. So the best way to deal with it is to get out ahead of it, to be proactive, to make sure that you're doing the inner work, to make sure that your ride is smooth, that you avoid the big and dangerous rapids, you find the side currents that are moving forward smoothly and quickly, and ride into the more beautiful, more loving, healthier, and kind world that is the destiny for planet Earth. Wow. Alrighty, so that was interesting, and yeah, so I'm really looking forward to doing this every week. Today I think was a bit more general. When I've channeled in the past, I've gotten some quite specific things, so we'll see what comes forward. But it's also going to be based on who wants to come, who wants to listen, And there will be specific themes each week based on what is going to be happening with those people that are likely to be listening, as well as what's going on with the collective consciousness. So I'm going to sign off for now. Happy New Year. And check this out every Sunday. It will be on Hub. So look for the announcement, look for the time, and come live. We probably will put up replays on this, but if you want to ask questions, you got to come live. Signing off, this is Kira Lescu, serial entrepreneur, professional psychic, and channel.